All right, boys and girls, we're multiplying fractions with whole numbers. Lesson 7.2. All right, Martin is planting a vegetable garden. Each row is 2 meters long. He wants to plant carrots along 3/4 of each row. How many meters of each row will he plant the carrots? So we could start off with our fraction strips, and we could have 2 of them because it's 2 meters long. So here's our 2 meters. And we know here by what we're doing, it's 3/4. So when we're multiplying, we know that we have to have, the denominator tells us how many equal parts has to be underneath these 2 full strips. Well, I know just because I know my fractions that it's got to be halves, because nothing else would do it in 4 equal strips. And I covered those 4 by having 4 halves. So then I go and look at my numerator, because it's 3/4 times 2. So my numerator tells me how many of those parts I need. I need 3 of them. So if I need 3 of these, how much does that equal? So if I was going to draw a picture to represent that, just what I had there, I have a half, a half, a half, and a half. And if I need 3 of them, that means I have 1 and 1/2. So once I circle those, I know that it's 1 and 1/2. So it's 1 and 1/2. Excuse me. So here it says, explain why you place 4 fraction strips in the same denominator with the same denominators under the 2 whole strips, because my denominator tells me how many equal parts I need. Explain how you would model 3/10. Well, after doing my common denominators before, I know that it would be fifths, because 5/5 make up a whole. And if I have to have 2 of them, that would make my common denominator, which would be a 10. I would have 10 equal parts. So, then my numerator, 3, tells me how many I need. So if I have 3 of these, I can just quick add them, and I have 3/5. So 3/10 times 2 equals 3/5. Okay? So far, not too hard. And we'll draw a model. Now we'll work with another model to see another way of doing it, to see if that's more helpful. So Margot was helping clean up after a class party. There were 3 boxes remaining with the pizza in them. Each box had 3/8 of pizza left in them. How much pizza was left in all? Okay, so 3/8 of each pizza. So that means 3/8 of each one. So I just shaded those in. So first, I cut those into 8 pieces because I wanted equal pieces, and guess what? My bottom number told me how many equal pieces it would be. So each circle shows 1/8 of a whole. In 3 circles show how many 8s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 8s. Or we could have done 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 equals 9/8. So it equals 9/8. But we know that's an improper fraction, and we know we don't leave it as an improper fraction. So we know that 8 goes into 9 one time with 1 left over, 8. So how much pizza was left over? 1 whole and 1/8. And if we would prove that by doing this, I could put 3 in here, and that would take care of that. And I could do 1 and there. So here's 1 pizza. 1. So we had 1 pizza and 1/8 left over when we moved those 3/8 together. Because here was 3/8. 3/8. There's 2 left over here and 1 left here. All right, that was one way to show it. Still haven't seen the pattern, so let's keep going. So let's just keep going on what we know here. So if I have 5/8 of 3 whole, well, halves equal underneath there, and I need 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 5 of those. So I have 1 whole, 2 whole, and a half. 2 and a half. If I look here, I have 5/8. So I have, well, I'm just going to take away from here, and I have 1 whole, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 6, or, because that isn't in the simplest form, so I'm going to divide them both by 2, because I know they both got a factor of 2, and I get 1 2/3. So how are you going to do 12s when you have 3 of them? Those are my 3. How are you going to cut them into equal parts of 12? What will go underneath that to make 12 equal parts? Well, take your 1 out, and you've got to figure out how many is it going to take to get under here into equal parts of 12, which would be 6. So I'd go 6. So these are cut into 6. So we have 6, 6, and 6, 6, and 6, 6. And I need 5 of those. So I'm only going to need 5, 6. Oh no, 3 equal parts. Sorry, no, I did 2 equal parts, so it can't be 6. Oh, sorry. Okay, here we got our 3. So here's our 12. Okay, so it won't be 6. How about 4s? Because we have equal parts. I know 3 times 4 is 12. So we've got 4 4s here, 4 4s here, and 4 4s here. So that's 12. And if I need 5 of them, I get this whole one and 1/4. 1 1/4. All right, now I want you to get the blocks out, and I want you to work these 2 problems. Then see if this is starting to make sense to you. Skip this page and do the same thing here. You might have to draw a model. Which is easier for you to draw? I don't care, this or this. Start looking for a pattern if you notice anything as you're writing it out. See if you notice anything. If not, just keep going the way you are doing it. I would like you to do all the evens on here, and then 1 or 2 in all the back. If you have time, you can go back to this page and figure out who posed the problem. All right. Good luck at multiplying fractions.